Hello and welcome in another episode of Derail Valley, where I'm doing my best to drive virtual locomotives without causing major disaster. Or do I? Anyway, before we begin, I'd like to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and follow up with bell button to turn on the notifications and stay up to date with my latest content. And speaking of content, so for today, as you probably remember the previous episode, we ended up in harbor and town. So we are in the brand new station. It is massive. It is huge. I did some research. I've been watching other people streaming the game, and they were also visiting the harbor. I've been playing the game myself, doing some research over the game mechanics and stuff. However, I haven't been playing that much. I just did one or two jobs. So let me switch to game window. Here we are in the station office at harbor and town, and I lined up the jobs that are pretty much available to me. Everything on this pile unfortunately requires license that I don't have, which is hazmat, long trains, and whatever other things that are necessary. Unfortunately, the problem with those jobs is that they usually pay quite a lot. And problem with those jobs that I have available is that, well, I'm gonna be poor. Anyway, right, for today we are going to perform some shunting operations. So I'm going to just accept this job. And my locomotive happens to be not here. We can use this one. However, I got my locomotive parked in here. Right, because I just serviced it. And you probably won't be surprised to hear that I paid $6,529.88 for servicing itself, which is refueling, which is sand, oil, wheel damage repair, and any other damage that I may have caused. And I've been driving really carefully, so there wasn't that much. Well, at the same time, I also had to pay $354.46 of environmental damage, or for emissions of my locomotive, because obviously the tax for emissions of locomotive is on me. Anyway, let's get into the task. So I need to pick a couple of wagons, load them up, and then leave them on a siding. Sounds pretty easy. So our first siding is siding C1S. And yeah, we need to get there. Let's see the station map. There we go. Right, I know where C is, but I need to leave that thing on siding E. Okay, so siding E is there. So if I will just reverse, pick those wagons, reverse, take the other wagon, wherever it is, and that is a problem. Where it might be. Oh dear. This sounds like a complicated task. Alright. Anyway, without any further ado, why is this? Oh, alright, there is a pocket, so I can, for example, smack the documents in. There we go. I do know how to throw things. Okay, let me start this bad boy. Let's release the brake. Reverser, and let's get on our merry way, because we got a lot of work to do. Right, so I will first get onto that C1S siding, which is happening to be right behind that roundhouse. It's pretty much that siding with those wagons, those flat cars. And I think those are the ones that we actually need. So let me just get some speed in order to get this locomotive rolling, and we should soon be able to reverse back into this proper siding. I will try to use some faster technique to eventually move the wagons around, but I can't guarantee any sort of success. There is also one fun fact that you might want to know, as we are in this place and well, in this position. When you are braking really hard, you are actually increasing your repair bill by damaging the wheels. As you can see by my bill, at the end of the day, well, the unit price for every point of damage or every percent of damage is maybe not that significant, but it will eventually build up. So try to not brake too hard. Right. Yeah, we can in fact continue as we are going. So I think all the switches should be ready for us on this side, because last job I finished basically required me to drop off these flat cars in that siding one, C1S, yes. So we should be pretty much ready to just pick them up and then proceed to siding D2S. I just need to verify the numbers, which is very important on those big stations where you have multiple sidings, where you have multiple places where you can find your cargo. And as you can see, we have to assemble our consist first, load it up, and then proceed to leave it where it should be stored, which is going to take some of our time. Right, 533, 818 and 869. Hopefully that's them 3. It might be that it's not them 3. Right. Hopefully I'm not moving too fast. There we go. Right. 557, 778 and 826. And Houston, we have a problem. Yeah. Right. So the wagons that we need are obviously not where we would like them to be. So 869, 818 and 533 happens to be here. It is not a big deal. We can sort it out, especially that we got this siding pretty much empty. So we are going to use this siding to get the ball rolling. But first we need to connect those wagons because they need to be attached in order for our plan to actually work. Right. So these wagons should now be... Oh, they are not. Right, let's double check if the brake pipe... This one is locked. All right. This one was opened, so that's why. You have to always check if you are opening or closing the valve, because you may end up having no brake pipe pressure. Right, so let's release the brakes, and we need to reverse even further to pick up the wagons that we actually need. So there is a technique to actually quickly detach the wagons from your train. It is not the safest technique in the world, so I will try to show it to you. And you have to watch out while using it, because it is a very easy way to actually damage the cars. So you need to be wary of that. Right, we are moving at speed of 5 kilometers per hour. We should be alright with that. It's not the fastest way of doing things, but definitely when we make contact with those wagons behind us, we won't destroy them completely, and we have much more control over our train thanks to that. We are about to make contact. We are going a little bit fast. Okay, good. We can release that brake. Right, the entire system doesn't have any brakes yet. So second, third wagon. That's the one we need. Let's just attach it. We don't need to attach the brakes. However, it's not the safest way to do things. Right, we are gonna get alarm from the brake pipe because obviously we haven't plugged the brakes. The loco will still run, and the whole system should technically work. Should, because wagons behind us might have brakes on. Do they? Yeah, they might in fact be braking. Right, let's... yeah. These wagons happens to have a brakes on, which is not super convenient, but well, we can overcome that difficulty. Yeah, so definitely these had brakes in the system. We can sort that though, because as we are moving, let's just build some speed. Right, we can use that opportunity, 1, 2, 3, to just do that and disconnect them. Right, so now these wagons at the back have their brakes disengaged, and the whole system has some pressure in it, which is going to help us a lot. Because all we have to do is to stop behind this switch, switch it, push those wagons in, and disengage them from our consist. And all we have to do is to use like a kinetic energy that will push those wagons onto the siding. So let's just reverse a little bit more to give ourselves some space. We can now engage the brakes, change the reverser, and what we can do now, last 3 wagons, 1, 2, 3, there we go. We can disconnect that one. We might as well click that switch, because we just need to prepare those wagons for ourselves, so they can even go to 2i. It's even better for us. Oh, and they are already rolling, see? That's good, that's very convenient. Right, so reverser, let's Let's use that. Let's chase them. Obviously we need to do it at a slower speed, because if we smack into those wagons it won't be too convenient. Okay, right now we can push them at a little bit more speed, and now we can just stop the entire consist, because we don't need to follow those. And as you can see, they are rolling, which is very convenient, because right now we can just change this switch, these wagons, we can just force them to stop by opening this valve. We can now close it. There we go. Brakes are now engaged. The wagons haven't smacked into that entire consist, and we are ready to release that brake and repeat the same process with those wagons. How do you... Yeah, I can now stop. Oh, it haven't disconnected. What is going on in here? Blah 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 blah. That is a good question. What is now going on? Right, I need to grab... I need to grab this. Oh great, I just released the pressure from the system, so I will have to connect the system back again. Right, so eventually the game decided to bug a little bit. It's not a big deal, because we can still amend all that stuff. We will just reverse into the siding and disconnect the wagons in the normal standard way. In fact, if this is not connected, is this... Not sure if this is now... Yeah, this is now disconnected, is it? Yes, it is disconnected. So, if we will just close the valve, first one, second one, we can now disconnect that one, there we go. Everything seems to be working, and we can reverse back to where we should be. Well, our plan didn't exactly work as we wanted it to, but well, it partially did. It is a useful method when everything will be working as it should, so that you can just launch your cars behind you, and they will keep rolling. Yeah, obviously the game has some bugs, so it is funny way, or it is interesting way of doing things, and it can eventually save you some time. It will also be interesting mechanics to use when playing in co-op, because the game eventually will receive a co-op function. Right, we can now reverse to pick those wagons. So let's build some speed. There we go. 10 kilometers per hour. It is a little bit on a fast side. Well, 8 kilometers per hour. It is a little bit on a fast side, but well, at least the cargo is safe, and as long as those wagons are safe, we might consider our mission to be successful. We are slowing down really hard, but that is because you don't want to smack into those wagons too hard. If you smack into them too hard, you will damage them, and damaging the wagons definitely doesn't pay. Oops, okay. I messed up a little bit, but it is now sorted. Whoops, I accidentally always jump into the cabin. Right, anyway. We can now turn the reverser. We can also change that switch, because we need to go to the right side. And we can slowly start heading towards this direction. And where is my task? Is that... yeah, that is the job that we are doing, and now we need to go to siding D2S. And siding D2S... D2S, yeah, that's the one. Oh, okay. We were on idle. That's why we were not moving. Right. We should now be on the good. On a good route. Right, D2S. Where is D2S and which one? 232. That is interesting to find out where that wagon is. In fact, if anyone expects us to finish on time, I can guarantee you that there is no such chance that we are going to finish this mission in described time of 24 minutes. There is no chance we are ever going to finish that. Right, anyway, we are heading the right direction, so that is good. We definitely need some more speed. I don't feel comfortable to drive around with a speed of 30. Technically, you could. We definitely can drive that fast. The problem is that it is not exactly the safest way to do so. Right, we still need to go past siding 2S in order to pick it up from the right side. So I'm going to head into this siding with some sort of a speed, because there is no point in us waiting for God knows how long to actually get there. We need to build consist of 4 wagons, which sounds good. Right, we are gonna go around all those sidings. The thing is, it would actually be useful to first know... oh no, it doesn't matter in fact, because we still need all those wagons. We can eventually... oh, as you can see, I just gave it a touch on the train brakes, and as soon as I gave it a touch on a train brakes, pretty much my train slowed down by a half, and that is a massive slowdown. And I think... yeah, I think that these 2 wagons that are in there are gonna be obstacle, because the one that I need is CFF 232, and I believe that CFF 232 is going to be this one, because siding right next to us is siding 2F. So I will have to reverse, pick those 2, push them onto this siding, and then use this siding. CFF 232, yeah, I knew it. Right, so I will have to pick those 2, reverse, reverse onto this siding that I'm on right now, leave those two, and then pick this one to reverse from this part of storage siding completely. And then I need to go behind those cars that are on the siding parallel to ours, that Gorsk. So I need to be on that, well, pretty much next to that terminal back there. So yeah, it is going to be interesting shunting operation. As you can see, my cars are literally scratching those cars on siding 2S. It is my mistake. I've been experimenting with the method that I'm showing you when it comes to shunting. And obviously, I got the brilliant idea to leave them just like that, and I barely made it when I was reversing from this siding back then. Unfortunately, I haven't recorded that onto a video. Anyway, we can fix it right now because I am right now recording. Yay! So it should all be nice and recorded. Right. So if you want to slow down on a siding without causing a major disaster to your speed, or without stopping yourself too early, you can use locomotive brake, which will react quicker. But the fact that it reacts quicker doesn't mean it is better. Right. These cars definitely have their brakes on. So I need to turn them off. Let's give it a minute. Okay, the brakes should now be off, and I can now disconnect this hose, so I don't need it. Right, let's release that brake. Let's go forward just a touch. We should be able to do that because we just pumped the brake, well, we just pumped some air into brake system. So as you can see, we are able to pull those wagons, even though last two doesn't have brakes at all. It is not the safest way to do so, but it is definitely faster way when it comes to shunting. In the game, it doesn't make that much of a difference though, because you don't have to do all those things manually. Right, now we just need to give those wagons a push in order to get them onto the siding. Right, these are sorted. Back into the locomotive. Let's put the reverser on. Let's release the brakes, and now if we give those two last wagons hard enough push, they should roll into siding 1S. So let's just do it. Good. Works perfectly fine. So let's just wait for these wagons to clear the siding. Are they going to do that? Oh, please. Let's just push them. No way. Right. We haven't pushed them hard enough. And unfortunately, we need to fix it manually. But in theory, if you give that system enough of a speed, you can eventually... Oh, I smacked into those wagons now. And now they should have enough inertia to actually roll into the siding. I hope I haven't damaged my wagons. Right, I can now reverse back a little bit, just by a touch, because obviously I just need to clear this switch. I can slow the loco down, flick that switch, and hopefully the ones on this siding are far enough so that I can clear them and get into siding 2S. Right. So keep your fingers crossed. Am I doing it right? I hope I am. Right, speed of 5, because I need to keep an eye if I have enough clearance, because I left these wagons partially on the siding. I might need to use a little bit more of a speed when pushing wagons to just use their inertia to actually roll into the sidings. It is very useful technique if you can like push multiple wagons into the siding, but yeah, you need to give yourself a little bit of a space to actually gain that speed, and obviously you need to push them hard enough to give them enough speed and enough like inertia to roll into the siding, to bring them to stop. If you push them too hard though, there is a risk that you will actually damage the cars, so you need to bear that in mind. Right, in case of those wagons though, I need to get in here. I can connect this hose, I can connect... Oh my goodness me. Right, there we go. I can tighten that up, I can connect this wagon, and we are ready to go, finally. Right, so let's now reverse from this siding. I had a little bit of a wheel slip, but I should be okay right now. Those two wagons are pretty much safely in the siding, so I'm not worried about them. They are not exactly where they should be, but they are close enough so that they can be found. And this is going to be our passage. So as long as this siding is empty and the one next to me is occupied, everything is fine. I do have a way to go around. Right, anyway, that is the problem of shunting jobs. They take way longer than the game predicts it's gonna take. And obviously, if the game predicts, yeah, it's gonna take you 24 minutes to do so, I can guarantee you that I've already spent like almost 20 minutes pretty much assembling my train, and I still need to load it, which means that I need to go to a completely different place, and I also need to leave it at the right siding, and that is going to take some time, because obviously if I will go too fast I might accidentally crash. So shunting jobs are definitely the hardest ones, and shunting jobs are, even though they are fun and they are a nice thing to do, definitely, if you have a control, if you are a good shunter, you can really do a lot of money in a short period of time out of them, especially that most of the shunting jobs are actually paying pretty much the same as long haul jobs, which even though they are pretty easy, and even though they by default seem to be taking the longest period of time, they are in fact pretty quick to be done, while moving 4 wagons around this yard takes, well, pretty much the same amount of time as transporting 10 wagons to different town. That is the main problem. If you want to make it safe, if you don't want to damage those cars, and I can guarantee you that even a slightest damage to either of those cars is going to put me down under my salary, because, well, if I'm making like how much I'm gonna make from this job, like 3 grand, 2 grand, something like that. So even with the bonus, which pays plus 50%, if I will make around 4 grand from this job, I can guarantee you that damaging either of these cars will put me way below my earnings. And that is the biggest problem of hardcore. You have to be precise, you have to sacrifice that bonus pay in order to make your job right. Obviously, if you get better at your job, if you use various techniques to speed up or to, let's say, cut corners, you might be able to finish those tasks on time, but you are still taking a risk, because when you push certain wagons too hard, which we will hopefully not have to find out later, but if you push some of the wagons with gases, fuel, or any other commodity too hard, you might find yourself in a situation where they're gonna get damaged, and damaging the cargo is not the best of ideas, if you ask me. Right, we need to leave that on D7L, which is... Wait. Oh no, we need to load them on D7L, and we need to leave them on E4O. So... E4O, we are approaching from the west. Okay, fair enough. That is a second siding to our right, is it? No, second siding to our left. Right. You can feel that this train started to struggle a little bit. We are now moving at speed of 10 kilometers per hour, and I think it is a safe speed to leave it at. Right, let me just go ahead. I know you would normally not jump from your train, but we need to inspect all the switches. So this switch is definitely A-OK. This one is set OK. Is it? Yes, it is. And this one is surprisingly set OK. But yeah, that is the thing. We need to find ourselves on a way to this siding. And we need to be on this side of this siding, is it? Because we need to be on E4O, which is on this side. So the best course of action would be to go past it. And the only siding we can go past is this one. So we need to find ourselves on this track. This is set. And this will be set as soon as we reverse, because we need to switch this one. Okay. So everything seems to be A-OK for now. So we are back in our loco, and now we can speed up, because, well, we don't need to preserve that speed right now. Everything is set, at least until this point. We will obviously have to adjust our position and approach the siding from the right side if we want to be able to actually leave our cargo. We can cut the corner a little bit and eventually leave that cargo blocking ourselves from leaving and saving some time, but that's not the way we should approach all those tasks. We should eventually be able to leave the wagons and disengage from them in a manner that doesn't block our locomotive from any further movement. Right, 20 kilometers per hour. It seems a little bit on the fast side if you ask me. But well, we should be pretty okay with that. Yeah, these wagons will definitely turn there, but it matters not, because we just need to switch this one and we can pretty much carry on. We still need to bring the train to a full stop. Okay, everything is ready and we can now carry on full steam ahead. Well, not exactly steam, we are using a diesel locomotive, but well, yeah, we can go ahead full. So there are two ways we can go for. We can obviously jump into the right siding from this side, but then we would have to push those wagons out and do some shunting operations. Or we can just go past this siding and approach it from the other direction. And as you can see, we are gonna go for the latter option. So I will now speed up a little bit to get us to 30 kilometers per hour. Siding E40 is the second one. We need to remember that. And now we just need to go past all those wagons in order to be able to drop off our cargo. I'm not super happy about it. We could have picked those wagons from the other direction, but that is one thing about sidings that the game is not informing us, and this is where things are parked. So you never know if the siding that you are about to get into is full. You never know if there is any other cargo on that siding. You never know if you will have to do some extra unlisted tasks to actually be able to fulfill your goal. And that's why shunting operations in this game pretty much never pays that much as they should. Those are pretty complicated jobs, those are really precise jobs, and you are making little to no money at all. And I believe this should be changed. Anyway, we need to now prepare ourselves to stop. I might in fact put some pressure into the system to stop us sooner. Oh yeah, I can now pretty much brake really hard. Okay, I can release the pressure from the system, and now I can set all the switches. So we need to carry on straight on this one. We need to click this one. We need to carry on forward on this one and jump into this siding. Good. We should be able to fit all 4 cars. Oh my goodness me. Right. and that teleporting is not too efficient. So reverser back, horn, which I'm not using enough, and we can now carry on and reverse. Right. As you can see, every single task for shunting is pretty complicated. They can be done fast, yes. In fact, what I can do... Wait, if I could only... Yeah. There we go. We can use our sacred technique to let inertia do the job for us. Which is going to save us a little bit of time, I guess. But it's not gonna make the cargo safer. Right. This is far enough. So I can now stop this consist. As you can see, yeah, works as intended. There we go. So we can now flick that switch. And are we far enough? Just perfect. Just look at this. And we are now back on track into the center of this station. There we go. We can now reverse and get ourselves much closer to the station office, where we can give our task back. There we go. That's how you do power shunting. Right, yeah. It still took us way too long, but with a little bit of practice, when you learn how to launch those wagons using only kinetic energy or their own inertia, or how would you like to call it, you can obviously save some time, because we would be able to actually move along the siding while those wagons are still rolling right next to us. And in normal world, they would eventually stop, or there would be someone else running next to on that siding to engage the handbrake. And that's how we would stop those wagons and perform shunting operations much faster than to go into the siding, stop the train, do all the procedure of coupling and uncoupling, even though we are just going to push the wagons onto the siding. I'm not sure if it's still used in these days, but from what I remember, this technique was widely used back in the days on many rail yards. Some of the rail yards were actually designed to use this technique quite widely. Right, I technically stopped in the worst place possible, but well, we are in the game, so I guess because there is no traffic, we might eventually do things that way. Yeah, so something that was supposed to take us 24 minutes took us 46 at the end, or in the end. Yeah, it is hell a lot of time, and we made pitiful $2,500. But on the good side, we pretty much haven't caused any environmental damage, and we managed to make $2,500. So that is pretty much our job in essence. And we generated, wait, are we on fees? Yeah, and we generated already $3,500 of fees. So if you think about it, I haven't made any money. Oh, poor me. Yeah, shunting jobs doesn't pay. So if you are playing on hardcore and you are not professional shunter, and basically it takes you you don't get that bonus for the jobs. Shunting jobs doesn't pay at all. You need to do hauling jobs because then you have chance to get some bonus, and you need to get that bonus in order to be able to pay for your locomotive. We will definitely try other type of jobs because they will definitely pay us more money. But I'm not fan of shunting operations, which you can guess now why I'm not fan of those. They are fun, they are definitely complicated, and they are much more fun than just driving around. Or at least they can be much more fun than driving around. But they don't pay money. It's pretty much free labor. And I do not like that. There we go, we are on the right track. So I will just return my locomotive into roundhouse to repair it, so that I can afford a license. And as this episode is already taking quite a long time, I will thank you very much for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to get informed about my new uploads, hit that notification bell button, and don't forget to share your comments down below. Have a great day and see you all later. Later. Out.